Hey y'all, it's Francine and Simone, and I am here with a quick video about some thoughts I've had lately. But first things first, I want to say that this video probably won't be edited, so bear with me. One, I've been homeschooling both my kids, which is a lot, plus working on 2 books, which is a lot, and just in general, staring outside at the smoky outside, just trying not to die in what is 2020 in a state that is in the red zone because nobody wears a mask, on top of the fact that I'm in the West, so I'm getting all the smoke from the fires, which shout out to all of you who are in those heavy fire zones. Please stay safe, please wear masks, and don't go outside. Like, if it is red outside, please, if you can, stay inside. And my heart goes out to like everybody who just does not have that option, especially people who are in delivery services, especially people who are homeless. Like, y'all, it is intense and it is crazy. So with all that being said, this video won't be edited because the bitch ain't got time and life is short and I just need to keep rolling. So first things first, on top of all that darkness, Smash It comes out in 1 week and on September 22nd on Tuesday, and I am super excited. I finally got hardback copies from my publisher, so that is yay. But you guys can pre-order up until I believe the 21st. You will get a signed copy, some book swag, and on top of that, an event to an exclusive book chat. You will be invited to a kiki with me. It's gonna be like a slumber party, like bring your drinks, bring your snacks, and we're gonna talk about the book. It's gonna be in late October, so you guys will have plenty of time to read. It really is a fast read, I'm not gonna lie, but you'll have plenty of time to read. It will talk about all the spoilery things, themes, ask any questions. I mean, like, all questions can be asked and be go. I am an open book when it comes to any of this, so it is going to be a blast and I can't wait. So don't forget and make sure that you pre-order. Plus, obviously, pre-ordering lets my publisher know that when they invested in me, it was a good idea. Yes. Plus, it's a good book. Like, who don't love Smash It? And for those of you who don't know, because some of you may be new, hey, Smash It is about a girl who is 17. She is tired of being kind of lame and not really doing the things that she really wants to do, the things that scare her. And so she makes a fuck it list. And on her fuck it list is all of the things that she wants to do to become the best version of her. And along the way, she fucks a lot of shit up. But girl, does she smash it in so many different ways. So, y'all, get on that. With that being said, a lot of the thoughts that I've had lately have been about diversity. Funny enough, my book actually does fall into this category. As far as why people, I'm interested, and I've been thinking a lot lately about the 2 different ways that people think about diverse books. I think one way is for marginalized people like myself and others, we look at it as a way of finding books written by and or about characters who look like us. And that can be ethnicity, that can be body type, that can be sexuality, that can be so many different things in which marginalized people fall into. That can also be religion, that can also be, gender, sometimes age, that's all I'm hitting on right now, y'all, because my brain, I've been schooling kids. But so many different marginalizations that there are. A lot of people look for themselves or some type of representation of themselves in it. Now, with that being said, that's twofold, because when some people look for themselves, they are looking for their own memoir. And I think that is when you have a calling to use your own voice and to stand out. And that doesn't mean that you have to write a book. That can mean that whatever it is that you are creative or that you do create or you have a talent for, go about that and express that, please. I know people hate it when they be criticized and stuff and someone's like, well, then why don't you do it? And people are like, oh, that is so rude. And I'm like, it's not really. Go out and create. Use your voice. Put yourself into something. Because when you do that, you create spaces for people who do relate to you culturally in whatever niche that may be, whether it's sexuality, whether that's ethnicity, race, all the things that I said before, gender, however. You get what I'm saying? Like, y'all need to actually go out and do stuff. Do it. If you need a permission, here it is. Like, do it. The only person who is putting you down or telling you not to is you. Unless you were in a dangerous situation, then, obviously take your own counsel. However, I think that is one way in which we look at diverse books, right? And that we crave and we want diverse books. And then the second way, in which I kind of take a little issue with because I don't think people are quite aware of this tendency, especially people who live in WASP America, and that's everybody. And WASP is white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant. And I do want to clarify here that everybody in some ways practices white supremacy, whether you are white or not, whether you are Protestant or not, whether you are Anglo-Saxon or not. We all practice it because we have all been living under a system in which that has told us that that is the default and that is what you must assimilate to. If you have any tendencies or any insecurities or anything that makes you not want to, or that you have to fight against, or you have to push and pull against, that is representative under that WASP category, that's being blonde, blue-eyed, skinty, which nowadays is being more black than white. If you fall under any of those, like those normal things that everybody's been telling us is normal, then you do practice it. If you have any pull to do that, even if it means going against who you are yourself, or if you have any internalized hatred towards other groups and groups that you also belong in. If by any chance, and I always talk about this girl because to me, she is the most pillaged from and put down, and that is the dark-skinned black woman. The Nene Leaks of the world, if you will, the Kenya Moores, the opinionated, the vocal, the loud, the I will make room for myself at the table while being myself black woman who is dark-skinned, who is both unloved and yet ravaged, because people love to take because they are enamored by her veracity, by her she's magnetic. She's magical. But they don't like her because for so long they've been told that she is at the bottom of the pole. She's the thing that you should not want, the thing that you do not want. And she's also the taboo. So therefore you also, like I said, want to ravage her. I'm always very sensitive of that one because so many women in my family fall into that category. And growing up, it was always the idea, if you've ever heard or you've ever said to someone, you're not like other black girls, it's because you're talking about that black girl. You're scared of that black girl. That black girl's loud. She has a bite and a bark. Because she has to bite because people like to pillage and ravage from her and then turn around and put her at the bottom and push her down and tell her she's nothing and she's no one and she's not loved and she's not worth romancing. She's only worth, exoticizing. So she has to bite in order to survive. And everybody's terrified of her because of that, because she will walk into a room and point out exactly what's wrong with everybody in the room and what everybody is doing and how, honey, you need to do better. She'll do that, and she'll do that in a heartbeat. And everybody's terrified of that kind of energy. And so therefore, she's the one that everybody compares all the other black girls to when they want to praise that black girl for being more white. But with that being said, the second one, and the second way in which people read or consume diverse media, is by wanting to go on a magical ride to an exotic land. And while most people don't think that they do this, y'all, we still do this, because if you ever think that you are cultured because you read diversely, if you choose to pick up diverse books because you feel like it makes you feel like a better person, like it makes you feel like you're more aware than that other basic white bitch or that white Chad, like he don't know nothing, right? She'll know nothing. I am so woke. I am so aware. I am an ally. If you think that makes you cultured, honey, it does not. If you are a person of color and you're over here reading books about other people of color because you feel like it makes you more cultured than your other counterparts in your marginalization, it does not. Culture does not come from consuming things from other people. Culture comes from living and interacting with the culture and the people. No, not with the culture, but with the people of that culture in a native way. That is the only way that you can become cultured in that aspect, okay? What it does make you is aware of other perspectives. And I think that people who read to become more aware of other perspectives and just to experience things, you can tell those people because they read stuff, they understand context, And they also don't look to insert themselves into narratives. They just go in it to gain an awareness, and they objectively can say whether a book was well or not, whether they enjoyed the plot or not, or, whether they felt like there was character development or not, or whatever have you. And then they move on their merry little way to the next thing. People who seem like they're they're on that way to getting the badge of fucking honor for being diverse and being woke and being cultured. It seems like a lot of these people are still trying to insert themselves into the work. They want to see themselves still because they're looking to see themselves as cultured and as part of this culture because they are experiencing and consuming it. And so therefore they feel adjacent to it. And it's like, nah, you just aware of another perspective. And the danger of that, like, I don't want to be too hard because I understand we're all trying to do better in this world. We're all trying to do better. We're just trying to do our parts. I think everybody's tired. I think everybody's done. I think everybody's like, look, bitch, I'm just trying to do what I can do. I'm just trying to be a decent human being and survive when I go outside to get my groceries. Like when I open the door to pick up my DoorDash, I try to hold my nose so the smoke don't fucking choke me out. And I'm just trying to do my fucking best. So yes, I read a book that wasn't about somebody who looked like me and sounds like me because I just wanted to be aware and experience something. And, other than what's going on outside in 2020, like I'm just trying. I feel like we're all trying to do that. But I feel like when we go from trying to just be informed of other people's experiences to being enraged by other people's experiences, we end up falling into the category where you internalize a lot of the things that you don't necessarily jive with when you read and consume those diverse medias. You end up internalizing it as hate. And you don't fucking realize it. You read a book that is diverse, right? And it's something that's not quite what you are used to. And you don't quite get the characterization because you feel like there's just something missing. What you didn't realize is that you culturally and natively just do not attune to a lot of the details that are there and the subtext that's there for people of that marginalization. So it means something for other people. You're just not picking up on it. So then you're kind of getting tired and irritated by this book. And this is the 5th book you've read about these types of people. And goddamn, you just can't. And you feel like all these books are mediocre. And well, you know what? These people deserve mediocre books too. But goddamn. Right? Like you're on there. And then you just can't understand why other people like it. Why? Like all these 5 books, other people are raving and you're like, I just don't get it. You start to internalize some of that. Because what you start to do is you start to lump it into, well, for instance, let's say it's, like books about black people, right? You start to lump it into like black books. This is something something that just bothers you about black books. You just don't know what it is. But you're not racist. No. No. Living in white America, you're not racist. Because you can't be. You're also a person of color. How could you be racist against black people? Or, you realize that maybe you do have some internalized racism against blacks and you're really working really hard, like, on not being that way. And so therefore you don't understand why this thing bothers you so much or why this type of character bothers you so much. Like, you just don't like them. Does that mean you don't like black people? Oh my God, no, obviously not. And obviously I'm irritated, but then now I can't even be honest about how I feel about this book because then people are going to think I'm racist. Oh, I'm so irritated. So what do I do? Oh my God, I just internalize all of this. And next thing I know, I really kind of can't stand black books. Next thing I know, I kind of can't stand black people because, there's just something there. This is bothering me that I'm not dealing with because it's really just my own uncomfortability because I'm not cultured and I want to be cultured because I want a badge of honor, but I can't get that badge of honor because there is no fucking badge of honor. It's just being aware that other people have perspectives and just being aware that your perspective is your own and no one will ever represent you ever in life except for you. And so you have to stop looking for those types of things. And you also have to stop looking for being perfect in a world that isn't fucking perfect because if it was, we wouldn't be in this in which we are. And if only you could accept that and realize that sometimes other people and differences that other people have just don't jive with the culture that you have. And so you just don't understand it and you stop forcing yourself on those people and stop forcing those people's consumption and their media onto yourself and stop trying to force yourself to love something that just isn't for you. Then you wouldn't be internalizing all that hate and spewing it out into others. And the next thing you know, you're doing the goddamn same thing that you're accusing other people of doing. That's all I wanted to talk about, because honestly, I think that's the crux and the issue of the world today. Right now, people are trying to be so fucking perfect that they're just problematic. And it's because you have to realize that you will always fucking be problematic. I've said it many times in my videos. You existing is a fucking problem to the earth. 2020. I mean, the earth literally said, bitch, you're problematic because you exist. Fuck your metal straws. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about your metal straws. You not drinking from plastic ain't helping me. Get off my earth. I mean, the earth is literally telling us that all of humanity is problematic. So, I mean, if our big old rock knows, I think we can admit that just being human is problematic, because you will always have a different perspective than someone else. And guys, you know how I know that this is to be a fundamental fucking truth? At the end of the day, you have a brain that takes in information into, and it uses your eyes, your mouth, your touch, all of your senses, right, to take that information in. And then your brain tells you what it is that you're looking at. Your brain makes this shit up. The brain says, that's blue. Actually, no, somebody told you that that color was blue. So somebody else could literally be looking at a color that you think is yellow, and y'all both think that this is the same color thing, so y'all both call it blue. But my thing is, your brain, everything that you see in this world, the fact that you're watching me, a hologram, and a time when I'm not even talking to you, is just your brain creating your existence and your perspective and your reality. The fact that you're not even going to understand everything in this video, you're only going to understand up until a point in which your brain allows you to understand, because you have not experienced the things that you need to experience to take this full message into completion. And yet somebody else can, and yet somebody else will look at this and think that I'm saying two fucking completely different things. Means that perspective is all individual. And therefore, when you have individuals who all have different perspectives, everything is always going to be problematic. Now, if you were always just trying to be the best version of yourself and just being aware of others and realizing that you will be problematic in some aspects, so therefore you can always apologize when you feel like you've wronged somebody, and therefore you can always have the compassion to understand that somebody else's perspective is just theirs, and therefore try to understand where their perspective comes from, not so that you can agree, not so that you can give them a pass, but so that you can understand where it comes from, so that you know that you do not have to be enraged. You just have to be informed. So therefore you also know how to combat if that person ever tries to come to you with that nonsense. You know not to even engage, because they're not even at the same level in which your words would reach them. If we could all just understand that, then maybe we could all read books and actually understand what's inside of them. Because y'all, for the amount of people in this community who reads books but can't read word shit is quite a beautiful thing to me. So I don't know. I think that's all I want to really say. I've had a very busy year. My kids have been home since like March, I'm going to say. Yeah. And I've been home since March. My husband did have COVID. He's got a collapsed lung, so we're kind of dealing with that whole health aspect of how do you see a lung specialist when our state, I've talked to people in hospitals and they're like, we don't have enough medical staff for the amount of people who are here. So even if people need doctors, like for normal stuff, doctors' offices are like, I am not taking any new patients. So like, how do you find a lung specialist in the middle of a COVID pandemic when it's like a disease that affects the lungs, and people in my state don't wear masks? So like, there's like 500 plus cases like every day, but nobody even talks about it anymore because, you know, we don't have to report those numbers anymore. It's wild. So I think with everything that's happening today, honestly, if you're still enraged by things instead of just being informed by things and knowing who to talk to and who to check in your own personal life, and having those calm conversations where you're also understanding that sometimes you're talking to people who are just not on that level. So you just kind of walk away. But knowing that you did spark a little bit of change, right? You did spark something because you brought it up to them and it's bothering them. You know, they're having that cognitive dissonance where they're like, they can't like function. When you realize that that's all you got to do, and then just do what you love. Like, guys, do what you love. Consume what you love. Consume what you love. Stop consuming shit that you hate. Consume what you love. Stop consuming shit you think you have to consume in order to be the person, some perfect version of a person that ain't even real, that other people don't even think is real, but you're all trying to be it. Stop. Just stop. Consume the shit that you love and use your voice to amplify your perspective so that somebody else who looks like you and who feels like you can also be inspired to do the same thing. I think we'll all be okay. To an extent. But anyways, guys, don't forget to pre-order your girl's book, Smash It! And it comes out in 1 week. I cannot wait for everybody to read it. I can't wait for the conversations that happen. I want to say that the biggest thing that would be a proud moment for me is that this book sparks so many conversations about so many different types of topics, about intersectional racism, about intersectional like the way that people deal with their sexuality, the way that genders deal with expectations on their sexuality, the way that body types play into life, not only just in the grand scheme of things for Black bodies. I just want there to be so many conversations because honestly, every scene that I wrote was purposeful. Every word that I wrote was purposeful. And I know that this book is funny and shit, y'all, but y'all know I'm funny, but I be dropping the fucking knowledge. So what you think I got in my book, okay? Anyways, my kids are starting to like scream. I think it's snack time and we got to go over some reading. So I got to go, guys. Have a good life. You know what I'm saying? Like, do good, be good, and just do your best. TTYL, to talk for now. Bye.